Welcome to the platform where the stories weigh a ton. This is where some of the MHSPLA's best tell real stories about what it takes to build themselves and their teams under the bar. I'm your co-host, Chris Whitaker. We're glad you're here. Hey, before we get to this episode, if you're enjoying this show, please make sure you subscribe, follow, and leave a review on all major podcast hosts, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music, and many more. That support helps us continue to grow, bring the conversations that you want to hear to the platform, and allows other people to find our show. If you'd like to give us feedback or suggest a guest or topic for the show, please email info@mhspla.com and we'll get back to you. In this week's episode, we have episode 9 with Coach Levi Hoffman from Defiance College. And he shares his insights into building a successful powerlifting program, recruiting, training, and the growth of the sport in Ohio and Michigan. So step up, lock in. Bars loaded for episode 9. Hit that intro music.
Welcome to the platform where the stories weigh a ton. Squat, bench, dead, we rise as one. Michigan's lifters, this is our home. Turn it up, feel that foam. This is the platform.
And here we are, back with another episode of the platform where the stories weigh a ton. I'm your co-host, as always, Chris Whitaker, Dexter High School, Iron Dread, Strength and Conditioning, Iron Dread Powerlifting, and MHSPLA board member. My co-host is here, as always, Coach Chris Gillum, our director of the MHSPLA. Coach, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
And we have our guest today. Our guest is the head powerlifting coach at Defiance College in Ohio. His name, Mr. Levi Hoffman. Coach, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Really glad to be here. Excited for this.
We're happy to have you here. We love spotlighting, and they're part of our series that we're doing, spotlighting all the NCAA powerlifting teams in our area here, Northern Ohio. You know, obviously we prefer you weren't down there in that state.
Of course.
You know, we prefer, you know, you're a little bit further north.
Close enough.
Close enough. I mean, there's Michigan fans down there, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually from Michigan, so I grew up in Michigan. I competed in the MHSPLA. I actually still live in Michigan, and I coach in Defiance. So I balance it out between the two. Definitely see a lot of the rivalry in my recruiting, though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Kids talk about it all the time. Coming to Michigan, oh, you're from Ohio, but it works out. It works out.
Yeah. So you've invaded enemy territory down there and are building up something great at Defiance. You just had your inaugural season this past winter, right? Fall, winter, spring.
Yep. Started in August, and yep, that was our first group. So.
We're getting ready to go into year 2. So, Coach, we have some questions that we're going to ask you. Coach Gillum and I will kind of bounce back and forth on these as we go, and it's very conversational. If you answer something, we'll just kind of keep moving along and keep the whatever we're talking about going. So, Coach, I'll kick the first one off so that we can flip. What drew you to the sport of powerlifting, Coach?
What drew me to the sport? Well, I was lucky. I was born into a powerlifting coach family. My dad was a powerlifting coach. He was a football coach, also a track coach. I started going to meets as young as 5 and 6 years old. I was involved in Michigan High School Powerlifting Association then. That came from the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association. I got involved super young when there was only an equipped division. And then I started competing in middle school myself. And then after that, when I was finally old enough to compete in USA Powerlifting, the cutoff was 14 back then. I started competing in USAPL. Michigan High School Powerlifting Association was loaded with really good athletes and coaches. I have a lot of coaches that were mentors to me and my dad as well, since we were new in the sport back in the late 90s. But Coach Todd Miller from Plainwell, he was a really big influence on me. I actually trained with his daughters, trained with his daughter Kendra at the USOEC when I was an Olympic weightlifter at Northern Michigan University. Coach Birchmeyer, Brian Birchmeyer from Flint Powers, he was our deadlift guy when we needed something and we needed to focus on a specific aspect of the lift. He always had some solution for us, so we were able to be involved just from training with these people and moving into USA powerlifting. And once you start to get successful, it gets really addicting. So I stuck with powerlifting. I trained from the time I was probably 9 or 10 years old. I trained in powerlifting until I was 18 or 19. And then I switched to Olympic weightlifting. At that time, it was really hard to come by powerlifting scholarships. There really wasn't much in the world of that. And I felt like I wanted to continue my strength sport education and competition level. So I knew a few of my team members that went to IPF Sub Junior Worlds in 2009. They were going to go to the USOEC to compete in Olympic weightlifting. So I figured that would be a good way to stick around the sport. But I've always loved powerlifting. I don't want to say the most. It was really what I grew up with. But yeah, I feel like it came to me and it's always been a part of my life, and I'm really blessed to have grown up with it.
All right.
Now, what high school did you graduate from?
I'm from Morenci, Michigan, Morenci High School. So Morenci's got a team again. My dad was the coach for a long time. He retired, I don't know, 6 or 8 years ago. He quit coaching powerlifting maybe a little before that. My siblings were out of school and I was for a while. So he gave that up. So yeah, I'm from a really small town. Coach, you coached in Adrian, right nearby, a little bit after that, after I was out of high school. So yeah, we have like less than 200 in that high school. So it was pretty cool to have so much success in a small school, in a sport that competes against all sizes of schools, Class A all the way to Class D. I think it's a pretty cool part of our sport and aspect in college as well.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously you've been involved in the sport for a long time.
Yeah.
Being connected with your dad through Morenci, and that's good. Morenci always had really good lifters.
Yeah.
I know that I coached a team not that long ago, kids from Adrian, Morenci, Grass Lake, and I took them to high school nationals down in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
So we had Neely Pike she was a really good lifter, and she went with us. She's a great kid, good work ethic. She was really strong for a little gal, and enjoyed meeting her. And I had a good relationship with Stefan Wilkinson and Nick when they were coaching there. So yeah, I don't know who's there now because I've moved to a different part of the state, but yeah, that's awesome.
Sophie Corkle took over the program. She was working with Nick for a couple years, and Nick decided that he wanted to step away. And it's been really great for her to continue that, because without a coach, as you know, in a school, nobody's going to have a powerlifting team. So it's been really great to see her continue that. Actually, Neely Pike her dad is one of my best friends. And when she couldn't train with you, I was helping her out at her house in the evenings, trying to get her ready for that meeting.
Okay. All right. So you're familiar with when she was working with us towards nationals. Awesome.
Definitely. I was really happy that she had that opportunity, because Morenci, we had always taken teams, but once my sister and I and my brother were out of school, my dad didn't really take everybody to nationals. It's quite an expense, and people.
Yeah, it is. It takes time and money. You got that right.
Yep, totally. That's a big barrier of entry for our sport, unfortunately.
Yeah, indeed. As well as, and that's, I think, what our association brings to kids is they're allowing to expose them to the sport without that high barrier of cost.
Completely. That's what I love about MHSPLA so much. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids that would never even know about the sport, and now they compete in regional events and then the state meet. And that state meet, now that you have the limit of how many get in and you don't have a total to qualify, I think it's awesome to see those kids compete and talk about where they're at and follow it through those, 3 months, January, February, and March into the state meet. I love it. It's super cool. And for me as a coach to recruit those kids from Michigan, there's just one less step of making the transition from high school to college. In Ohio, we have an organization. we don't have an organization. There's a group of coaches that do their own meets, and it's not quite the same. The idea is great. The barrier of entry is lowered, but they have one judge where you guys have three judges. You guys are more mirrored. MHSPLA is more mirroring USAPL, and obviously that's the top organization in the United States at this point. So it's super cool that all these kids, when I get a Michigan kid, I know like we need to work on things, but the basics are there. It's super cool to have. We love it.
Good.
So when somebody is looking into joining your program, what type of experience can a lifter expect with your program? Like how many meets a year, et cetera?
Yeah, that's fair. I wrote out the schedule for next year. This year we filled up a little more than I wanted to, as meets were being announced later in the year. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I want to get them into this one. I try to keep them in 2 meets a semester. I'd like them to compete in 2 meets a semester minimally. I know in high school at MHSPLA, there's 6 meets in a 3-month span, or maybe 7 meets sometimes. This year we have a dual meet scheduled with Northwood in September. We might expand that depending on the number of athletes we have total. We're going to compete in the Pittsburgh Collegiate Cup. University of Pittsburgh hosts that. That's got a lot of different schools from Ohio and Pennsylvania out that way. And then this year I am going to take a few of my athletes to the Arnold, since the Arnold is in Ohio. That's a huge meet, and it's so important to the people of Ohio. Everyone asks, why didn't you go to the Arnold this year? Well, we went to the Olympia this year instead in Las Vegas, but now my kids have the dot scores to get in to the Arnold. And then the following that, we'll have Collegiate Nationals. That's in South Dakota this year. So those are the 4 main ones typically that I want to do for us. I would like to expand a little more, and once the team is more full, I'm probably not going to be able to take everyone to every single competition, which I think that's happening at like Davenport now, that they're so full. So we'll have to add a couple more to keep everybody busy all year. I just try to balance how many meets they have. I hear some coaches say, we want to do a meet a month. I think that gets a little tough through the year, but I think that kids can still do maybe 3 a semester. Definitely open to what athletes want to do too. I let a kid drop out of a meet one time this year because he felt fatigued, and I don't want you going into a meet underprepared and not ready. That's definitely not what we want. So
good.
Yeah, I mean they got to have some sort of training time in between, like.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a couple 1-month turnovers, and I couldn't believe my kids were coming back with 50 and 70 pound total increases in a month, and I'm thinking, we had a really good year and things went really well, but we can't do that forever. You can't just do that forever, and I know that. And a lot of it was experience. You get into USAPL meets, it's your first meet, second meet, now your third meet, things are clicking. Some of that stuff going on, but especially with the older and more advanced lifters, lowering the number of competitions to some degree to keep the training consistent. And sometimes we train right through meets too. We have done that this year as well. So not peaking, you kind of have to do it. So
what kind of costs are covered for the lifters in your program? Like, do you guys cover meet registration, membership fees? Is travel covered? What types of benefits do your lifters get if they're in your program?
Yeah, so we cover all the travel. We cover registration, annual memberships. We cover gear. So we're considered a varsity sport at Defiance College. So they give us a full gear budget. So we got, fancy powerlifting jackets and pants and everything. And I got them a workout uniform as well. So, shirts, t-shirts, shorts, sweatshirts. We got a whole bunch of apparel. It was really cool because the kids really are involved on campus. And they're respected as a real sport and they're treated the same. So it's really nice. So this year we flew to Las Vegas for the Olympia. That was covered. We flew to New Orleans for Collegiate Nationals. We cover all those costs. Kids just come with me, and we even actually cover some food costs, which is really awesome. We get a daily allowance for the kids for food. So really, I tell them, get your homework done, get your schoolwork done, and you really can't focus on anything else. This is going to be fine. We're going to take care of the rest of it for you. We've got the full backing of our administration and our athletic department. They asked me to get 5 athletes last year. We got 10. And I've got 12 signed for next year. We're over 20. So they're getting positive feedback, and we're getting positive feedback from them as well. So it's really great.
Awesome. Any like special equipment costs that your kids have to take on, like knee sleeves, belts, wrist wraps, any of that stuff, or is that provided for them as well?
This year, I provided some like lifting shoes, some squat shoes, and some knee sleeves. I might make some more deals with. I was buying some products from Limitless with Quentin Meyer in Wisconsin. He was actually on my world team in 2009, so I've known him for a long time. So he has some like team deals, and I bought some things. In the future, we might do some more fundraising to try to cover that, but I want kids to come in with a belt and shoes, and everybody wants the Inzer knee sleeves. Those are the best knee sleeves right now in USAPL to use. Those are like $200 a pair. We do fundraising. We have a lot of fundraising opportunities. In the following years, I think those will be covered. But I have to say right now we don't have that covered. Our budget was, they were surprised all the traveling we do compared to our other varsity sports. We do a little bit more. But we're super blessed, and to have the opportunity to compete nationally is just great. It's really cool. So
Yeah, I mean it's a good question, Chris, because in the MHSPLA we don't use knee sleeves or any of that stuff. So unless those kids lifted USAPL to go to high school nationals, a lot of our kids wouldn't have access to those pieces of equipment. So it's nice to know that you can provide some of that stuff.
yeah,
But that's cost that those kids will have to have for the short term right now. Okay.
for sure. Yeah. Actually, I hosted a small meet with high school kids from Michigan and Ohio, and all the Ohio kids lift equipped, and all the Michigan kids don't. And I didn't even let them wear knee sleeves, and I didn't let them wear wrist wraps because I didn't want the Michigan kids to have to buy all that stuff to be able to compete fairly. Um, so yeah, I would rather not use knee sleeves, but USAPL sets the rules. So it is
Well,
what
and you can choose not to, but
it's a disadvantage, right? You got to play the game. Really.
yes, it is. It's a disadvantage.
Big time.
Yeah, you got that right. I don't know the exact science behind it, but I know if a kid psychologically feels they can squat 50 pounds more, they probably will.
That's true. It's very true.
Is financial assistance provided to your lifters towards tuition, room and board, etc.?
Yeah, like athletic scholarship. You mean? Yeah, we offer
Yeah.
athletic scholarship. I set the scholarships based on students' ability, the athlete's ability. We also give a big academic scholarship, and I give that as a group scholarship. So some of my kids are paying a couple $1,000s a year. Some are paying a bit more, but based on where they're at, and I really, when I'm recruiting, I look at potential. I don't necessarily only recruit first place kids. I remember watching some of the kids that were, fifth place, sixth place get to college and start to take over. It really comes down to experience at that level. Yeah, and I've been able to give every single one of my kids on my roster right now does have some type of scholarship, but it does, like I said, vary from top to bottom. I actually have to for Michigan kids, because they don't get the Ohio grants. I have to give a little bit more money to be competitive with the other schools, because the Choose Michigan grant and the Choose Ohio grant, if you don't live in Ohio, you can't get it at Defiance. So that's something I definitely have to balance. Like we're 50-50 Michigan Ohio kids right now. But I noticed the difference in the kids' bill right away. Just with that, it's not an out-of-state tuition thing. We don't have out-of-state tuition. We're a private college. Everybody has the same price, but the grants just don't apply. But yeah, I've got kids that have nearly, have all their tuition covered, and it's really great. It's really cool to get some of these top-level athletes here competing and buying into the program and advancing so quickly. It's been really
Awesome.
Yeah.
As far as degrees, what does Defiance offer? What are they known for?
So we're a liberal arts college. We have tons of programs. We have over 40 programs. I should have had a paper here with me to tell you. We're really big in criminal justice, business. Our exercise science program is really vast. I'd say a third of my athletes are in the exercise science program. We have a great education program. I have two of my lifters that are in the education program, and they really love it. Currently, we don't have a nursing program. I hear a lot from people. They want nursing. But we have all the pre-professional programs, and we send a lot of students off to medical school, into other professional schools. We have somebody that's in occupational therapy school that just graduated from Defiance. We have tons of really great opportunities, and yeah, like I said, there's 40 different degrees, and there's so many different career paths. Because we're such a small school, we have a really great career services department. And these kids have all kinds of opportunities to do internships and get jobs ahead of time. We just published our results for this year. Our class that graduated in May has a 97% job placement rate after graduation right now. So we've hit 97% if either in their job in their field or they went on to a master's or a doctorate program. So yeah, we have really, really great programs. I would say right now we're getting an extra certification for our exercise science. And we're going to be a distinguished exercise science college, which I think is really great. There's so many different paths that you can take within that field.
And I think that helps, right? Like for kids that want to be involved in this sport, some of them, that's the career path they're interested in. They're interested in becoming strength coaches or going into that side of things. So having that, I think, is an advantage to you.
Totally. Yeah, I agree with that all the way. Yeah, like I've got 2 of them that are in exercise science for strength conditioning that want to do coaching, and they're taking the minor for coaching. Everyone really loves that coaching minor. And then I've got a few that are in the physical therapy track, so they'll be going on to physical therapy school after. We just made a partnership with a university in Buffalo. They're going to give us 6 spaces in their physical therapy program every year automatically. That was a really great partnership that we made. So our kids are at such an advanced level. They're so happy with us from the last few years that they're going to just take our kids right away and put them right into physical therapy school. And yeah, it's just what a cool opportunity. Since we've changed from Division III NCAA to NAIA, the whole college has changed. The atmosphere has changed. Things are getting better and on the up. I know a lot of small colleges are closing and having trouble staying open. We had our biggest incoming class in 13 or 15 years. We were over 300 freshmen this year, and we're going to have about the same again next year. So we're definitely on the right track. We have great administration taking care of things currently. So
awesome. Which school? The University of Buffalo, or which one in Buffalo?
I can't remember which university it is. I wish I had that with me right now. It's a smaller university in Buffalo.
Whitaker's from New York, so
you'll know about it. Then it's something that I do think it starts to send you a message on that after.
What is it? Aquinas? No. I don't know. There's a bunch of them there. We used to play.
Isn't there like a Quinnipiac or something like that?
Yes. What is it? I'll find it. University of Canisius College in Buffalo. Then there's a couple other ones, but I played the Division III school, the College of Brockport in Western New York, and we played Buffalo State every year. That was a big game. So
I knew you were a New York guy. I didn't know where you were at in New York. New York to me, New York is like kind of, I don't know. It's kind of far away. I don't really go to New York or anything. So
it's about 10 and a half hours by car.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
feels like about 18 when you have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old in the back.
Gosh, I can imagine. Rough.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, it would probably Canisius College, another private school. There's a couple of them.
It is a private school, so I wish I had that information. I can't believe I didn't bring it along, but that's our big.
It sounds like a great opportunity for the kids.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of nice partnerships. We've been doing the right things. We only have about 700 kids in the college, but with this incoming class and the graduating seniors, we're going to be closer to 1,000 in the next year or two.
That's awesome.
This powerlifting team growing is making a difference too. I see us above 30 in 2 years, and who knows where we go from there. So
yeah, it's interesting, Defiance College, because I went to Olivet and we used to play Defiance in football. And back then, Defiance was NAIA, I believe, and then they went into NCAA. And then I seen that they went back into NAIA. How many years ago did they change from NCAA?
I think they started 3 years ago. They had a partial change. They did play some NCAA teams the first year, especially football, and then they played in the NAIA. We're in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference in football. We've been 2 years full member though.
Okay.
Yeah. So for us as powerlifting, since we're like an NGO with USA Powerlifting, we're under NAIA rules for scholarships, but the NAIA doesn't pay attention to us really for anything
Yeah.
else. That we don't even really do much like NAIA compliance.
Well, you're in the same boat. Like, the top powerlifting school in the country is Midland University, and they're an NAIA school.
Okay, yeah. I heard that Missouri Valley is as well, right? They're pretty.
Yes.
They bring in a ton of NIL money. It's really impressive. I saw they brought in like $16 million in NIL money last year.
Yeah.
Really impressive. So,
It's crazy. Well, and the sport is just powerlifting's growing. More and more schools are starting to change it from a club into a scholarship type sport.
yeah.
And hopefully, it'll keep growing because I think it's a great sport for lifelong learning, obviously, and providing these opportunities. But you're right, like you talked about, there were no schools giving scholarships back when you were going, and back when I was in high school, powerlifting in the state was like, it wasn't like it is right now. The Michigan High School Powerlifting Association really hadn't even started yet. There was people doing it sort of like how you explained it is happening in Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how our sport grows, right? People care a lot about it and they want other people to see it. So they put their time and energy into making it happen. I mean, we got to be like, I'm so thankful for so many people that cared enough for so many years to get it caught on, because it really caught on here. Like,
Yeah.
year you graduated high school, I graduated in 09. I lifted equipped until my junior year in Michigan High School Powerlifting Association. And then we switched to Raw. And that was just like another, like, turn it up. Like, it got a lot better, a lot more competitive once that happened.
Yeah.
I love it.
But you mentioned Todd Miller earlier, and then, I've talked to Whitaker about this. It was after the 07 state meet at Plainwell that we voted to get rid of all equipment.
Yep, I remember.
So 07, 08 season was the first all total Raw. So that's when all the records started changing, because we retired the other ones because most of the kids that had them were wearing bench shirts or squat suits.
For sure. So I don't want to I was really blessed to train with great people my whole life. And I set every total record through MHSPLA. I won all 4 years. And I set every total record, but now all the equipped records are gone. I can't even find them on the website anymore. And
yeah, I that's something that's been brought to our attention. I think we can probably track down some, but I think back in the early 2000s and stuff, there really wasn't a website then. So I think everything was on paper.
Yep.
And it's a matter of tracking down the people that might have been in charge of it then.
For sure. I love that you guys, I went followed all the way back to like my senior year. I can find myself when I fought, but that was, the end.
Yeah. If you go to the old website, you can find stuff from back then too.
The MHS FCA website. Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a link through there still, but you can still go MHSPLA, but it'd be the H2O or HTO. So it's like the home.
Okay. The original
home team original website. Yeah. Sorry, we're getting off topic a little bit, but it refers to things. What type of programming are you doing with your kids? Like, are you training them year round? And if so, do you have a certain philosophy that you like to follow? Like, are you a linear periodization? You a conjugate? What's your philosophy?
No, I'm so hybrid. To be honest, we do a very hybridized program. There are some really good things in conjugate method. I almost think it's better for equip lifting. In Ohio, the conjugate method is king. It really is the king. I really, my program is hybridized between what I learned at the Olympic Training Center in Olympic weightlifting and powerlifting with my dad. I think that there are aspects of all training that can be really beneficial. We train 3 to 4 days a week. I really try to focus on fatigue and recovery. A lot of these kids come in beating their head against a wall for 5 years before they get to me. Coach, I maxed out every week for the last 2 months, and I don't know why I didn't get stronger. We see that so much. It's really crazy. It's really disappointing sometimes. I guess progressive overload would be a method that I believe in. I trust a lot in, and I believe that technique training, number one, if you're training with proper technique, your overall results and your overall feedback is so much cleaner. It's so much better. We clean things up every single day to try to make sure that my kids are ready to compete. We don't do, necessarily competition every single rep of every single lift, but we really, really do try to push them in the right direction so that we're prepared when we get to that competition. So for my training cycles, we run one day, we squat and bench one day, we deadlift one day, we squat and bench variation one day, and we deadlift variation one day. Our variation days are more mirroring the conjugate method. We don't necessarily do speed or violent movements quite the same, but we also don't go full exertion at all on those additional days. And it's a lot of technique work. I wrote down my numbers of my kids' totals from when they got to me till today. From our increases, is that all right to
Yeah,
go?
for sure.
So I have a boy. Can I give names, or should I just give?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Give the kids some love, Coach.
All right. So I got a boy, Riley Kennedy Chaffin. He's from Madison Plains, Ohio. He came to me. Was not prepared to compete in USA Powerlifting, but he's worked super hard and he's done awesome. His first USA Powerlifting meet, his total was 953. This week he totaled 1360. So he's up 400 pounds since September. That's not all strength. That's also precision in the sport. That's also trusting in a program. I think that he was just kind of randomly training in different things for that cycle. He's my highest increase. Griffin Trevino, another one, came in with a 1030 total. He's totaling about 1345 right now. He's a 165. Zachariah Burrows, his first meet, he totaled about 1113. His total is about 1420. So that's another 307-pound jump. So these are my Ohio kids that came in not knowing about all the powerlifting rules and what was going to be expected of them in USA Powerlifting. And their increases from 400 down to 300. My Michigan kids, Dominic Bingham, he's from Davison. He's a super good athlete. He was a good lifter in high school, but he was hitting a wall. He was overtraining a little bit. And he kept the last three meets I recruited him at, he missed his last two deadlifts in every single meet. And I was thinking something's wrong here with this, because he knows his numbers. He knows where he should be. We really lowered his volume and increased his recovery time. His total at high school nationals last year was 1240. He ended up in 7th place at high school nationals. At collegiate nationals 2 weeks ago in New Orleans, he totaled 1499, 680 kilos, a 259-pound increase, and he took 17th overall in that 181 weight class. He had come in at 36th place, and he jumped 2 full flights, won his flight and won the flight above him as well, and was two lifters from being into the top flight. So next year, we're just so excited to see where he goes from there. He had a 120-pound increase on his deadlift from high school nationals to collegiate nationals this year. Like, what? We couldn't ask for anything more. And then we've got one girl from Ohio, Braylon Shaner. She was a golfer. She really wasn't a lifter, and she came in not being able to lift much at all. From her first meet till now, she's up from 630 pounds to 875 pounds. She's up about 245 as well. And then everyone knows Michaela Chum from Troy Athens High School. So she set the American record high school deadlift last year at 425 pounds, 190 kg. So when she came in, I knew she was going to be good, and it was going to be hard to make progress with her. I didn't know what would happen. She had some technique things that we really wanted to work on. Her total at the IDFPA World Championship last year was the first meet she competed in her current weight class of 198. She totaled 887 pounds. And at Collegiate Nationals, she took second. She totaled 1096, 497.5 kilos. Set the American record deadlift. She deadlifted 501. She almost got a 522. Yeah, incredible. I mean, she has pulled more than that in the gym. 550 isn't outside of her range, like, very soon. She's only been training in powerlifting for a year before I got her. It's really crazy. These kids have made tremendous progress, and it's about training, but it's about team too. They love to train together. They love to challenge each other. They cheer each other on. We have such a great social aspect of our team that I think it really increases the progress that we've been able to make. I know that we'll be competitive in a few years. We're all young, but we're competitive, and all my kids now have reached the qualifying totals for collegiate nationals. So next year, I mean, we won't have a full team, but we'll be pretty close. We'll be pretty close. I think we'll have 15 to 20 kids that we'll be able to take. So it's pretty exciting to see this. And also, Michaela won the overall best female athlete of Defiance College for the year, which is quite an award for a freshman. And for powerlifting, they kind of treated us like we weren't really a sport they weren't sure what to think of, but we've really made some waves in the college. And Michaela deserved it. I mean, it's really cool for her and really cool for us as a team. So super
That's
blessed.
great.
Thank you guys.
Some impressive numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had to make goals at the beginning of the year, and I kind of got upset with them. I'm like, all right, so I said make goals, don't dream. Like let's set a goal, let's do something. But almost every single one of these kids has broken all of their goals that they set at the beginning of the year, and I'm thinking, well, next year we're going to do it again. We're going to set these goals, and we're going to try to do whatever it takes to get there. Yeah, it's been really cool. It's been a really cool ride. Short time frame, but really cool experience.
Yeah, that's good.
So you said you guys are carrying about 30 kids right now?
No, we hope to have. Right now I have 9 on the official roster. We lost one after the first semester that left. And then I have 13 signed for the following year. So I'm at 22.
22.
I believe Connor told me from Davenport that 24, I think, is the full collegiate team, 12 males and 12 females. So I'm going to be like just short. I might have a full male team this year and not a full female team to go. But yeah, we're almost there.
How many females do you have currently?
Right now I have 4, and I've signed 7 for next year. I've got one girl that's coming to visit from Texas. She's really awesome. She's coming in May. I think we have a good shot at getting her. And if we can add her to the team, we'll be at 12. So that's
well, and if you can't, maybe you can get somebody on campus to walk on.
Yeah. Actually, I have a girl coming to train with us. I think she's just a really nice kid that doesn't do a sport. And she told me I love bench press, coach. I was like, I can take kids that, I mean, I had my dad around me. He would take kids that never played a sport in their life and they'd join powerlifting and they would end up battling in state in a year or two, So I believe that any kid that really wants to put their mind to it, cares and does the right things can make those advancements. But as you guys know, it's a long-term sport. You can't just show up for a couple months and be good at it.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Powerlifting, you did it, you're coaching it. It's a sport that experiences failures. It could be attempting, a new PR or going for a lift that helps you win or place higher. And, sometimes you go for it and you don't make it. So, can you think of a failure you had either personally as a lifter, or it could be in another sport, that it ultimately set you up for success later?
Yeah, I was talking to my dad the other day. When I went to Sub Junior Worlds in 2009, I had been in a 181 weight class, 82.5 kilo for like 3 full years. And then I made the world team, and now I've got to be there until September. And that was in March. And we were in Brazil for that world meet. And when I arrived, I got there about 4 days before I competed on Thursday. We arrived on like Sunday. I was like 9.5 pounds overweight. And I wasn't when I left my house. I don't know what happened. I was like, what am I going to do here? And that was equip days. So like my squat suit, I know it's not going to fit. I know my bench shirt, I'm like, I'm in trouble. Like, this is the biggest thing that I've done in my whole life. And I'm in the worst position I could ever be in. How do you lose that much weight that quick? I was so scared. I was worried. Got to the meet. Suit didn't fit that well. Had a hard time. It was sliding up extra high. Wasn't staying down on my legs. I was like, oh no, here we go. My first squat, I got a little out of position and moved and stepped. So I missed my first squat. My second squat, I got called on depth, which is crazy. I don't even know how I ever got called on depth after being an Olympic weightlifter. I don't know how that happened to me, but it did. So I'm in my attempt on my squat, and you know what? It's time to prove yourself. You've been doing this since you were a little kid, and I had to come out and hit this squat. And man, I'll tell you, I didn't know what was going to happen. But those two failures motivated me, and I came out of the hole so easy, and it was so fast. And I'm like, man, I can't believe I just put myself in that position. Those misses stick with me today. I almost bombed out at Worlds, and then I went to bench, and I almost did the same thing. I missed my first two benches. I couldn't get the bar to my chest, and oh my gosh, I made another mistake. I ended up getting my third bench and surviving. But then I had to hit all three of my deadlifts to get in medal contention. And my whole life, my biggest dream was to get an IPF medal. I mean, that's the pinnacle of powerlifting, the IPF. So I was able to pull all three deadlifts. I hit a PR on my deadlift. I had been in a little bit of a plateau for a little while, especially trying to stay at a weight class. I think those near failures pushed me. I was able to get a medal for my deadlift. I think it was 255 kilos as a sub junior. I got third place for deadlift, and I got third place overall. So I got third place in sub junior. And you know what? That taught me right there that you can't give up. You can't give up no matter what happens and what's coming along. You got to stand up to it and face it. And I wasn't prepared with my suit, my situation. But I just, in our sport, you got to stand up and come back from failures. Kids miss lifts. Kids bomb out of meets. I mean, shoot, I bombed out of a meet before. It's not a good feeling. But really, what really matters is how you come back and how you compete in the future, and how you do on the next lift. You have to have a short memory in powerlifting. I'm sure you guys tell that to your lifters. The last lift you can't think about because that's not the lift we're currently doing on the platform.
Yeah. So, I think it falls on deaf ears, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. No, totally. The anxiety factor eats at them sometimes. But
yeah, I try to explain to kids, you know how much energy you are wasting sobbing and getting angry? Like, you need to reserve that energy, especially if it's like in the squat, because I'm like, you still got bench and deadlift to go to. Yeah. Like, this is only 130 your meet.
Yeah, it's totally true. And it's hard to get them to understand. But once they start to understand that and can conserve their energy, sit down between lifts, not think about what happened and only what's ahead, those are the kids that are successful. That's the route that I think the best athletes really have to deal with. So,
for sure.
All right, so we're a little bit running a little bit longer on time here, Coach. So I think we move to our speed set questions, and these are just real fast, quick answers. We'll just throw them at you real quick as we run down through them. They're kind of fun.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. First one is your favorite lift: squat, bench press, deadlift.
I was always a squatter. I like squat the most. I don't compete anymore. I don't train anymore. I got hurt pretty bad. I was getting ready to compete in the American Open in like 2014. Tore my bicep and my rotator cuff. I don't love training heavy anymore. I still love squat. I love front squat. I love squatting.
Awesome.
But yeah, definitely.
So are you a low bar or high bar squatter?
I was always a high bar squatter. And even in Olympic weightlifting, I was a high bar squatter. By the time I got done in Olympic weightlifting, I was squatting, raw, no knee sleeves, 300 kilos and training often. I was a 105 kilo at that point, but that was definitely something that came natural for me. And high bar, I know that low bar is better. I think if I would have thought about that back then, I might have changed things, but I move some of my kids down now currently too.
I'm a high bar squatter too, but I train kids both ways. So
yeah, there's no one technique. The whole this is the way to do it. That's not, every person is different. Every body shape is different. Every kid is different. So yeah, you have to base it on them. Base it on them, right? So
sumo or conventional deadlift?
I lifted sumo all the way until I was like 19, and then I conventional deadlifted more. I like sumo more because of the leverage aspect, and since I'm a squatter, the lower body. But my only American record that's still alive in USA powerlifting is bench press, so I probably shouldn't say that either. I like both. Every kid is different. So my girl Michaela, she conventional deadlifts 500. She's got huge long arms. She could be a sumo, but she's better at conventional. Dominic Bingham, he's a sumo. He was a conventional, but now he's up 120 pounds. I don't know what's better, Coach. That's a tough question for me.
No, that's good. Do you prefer a one rep max, or a rep PR?
For my own personal enjoyment, yeah, maxing out's awesome. That's what our sport's all about, right? There's something to it. In our training, I have a board. The kids can see their 1 through 10 rep maxes, and we focus on those all the time. Almost every week we have a best of 2, best of 4, best of 6, something that we're looking for, and they can go back and look and see what they've done. But the kids want singles. I want a single too. That's what matters, right?
All right.
Your best accessory exercises, and we'll start with the squat.
On squat, we love leg press. Leg press is great. That's one opportunity for kids to really, really build up some strength. We do Bulgarian split squats as well. I think that's been a beneficial exercise. We also do pause squats. I know that's become pretty popular. Pause squats. We used to do bands and chains. I do chains. We've done a couple cycles of chains, rotating with pause squats. I'm not sure if you could consider that an auxiliary or a squat variation. But currently we're pause squatting and front squatting on deadlift days, and then we're regular squatting on our first day of the week. So
Yeah. Best accessory exercise for bench press.
Yeah, I think depending on the kid, but I really, really like dumbbells. I think dumbbell bench press and dumbbell incline can be really, really beneficial. We do a lot of board press. I know some people like to do pin press. I like board press maybe a little more because we're activated on the way down, and that bar path is a little more focused on. But we do the other as well. Since we're in our first year, next year things are going to look different. I love, as you guys know, variation is a huge part of our sport. If you don't have variation in your workouts, there's a lot of plateauing that goes on.
And the last one, your best accessory exercise for the deadlift.
I think RDLs are the king for deadlift. I mean, kids, if they're doing, I think single leg RDLs are great. I think regular RDLs are great. I like doing RDLs off of a plate, getting us a little bit of elevation to get deeper into that. But RDLs are the king. Coach Brian Birchmeyer from Flint Powers, he had some of the best deadlifters in the really early 2000s. And I think my deadlift really took off from that, and my kids too. Proper position is important, though. RDLs can be really bad if you're in the wrong position. I know there's a lot of things that we do in our sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely say RDL.
All right. So, Coach Gillum, before we give Coach Hoffman the floor to kind of share anything that we haven't discussed yet, do you have any additional questions or comments for him?
No, I mean, it sounds like you got a good thing started there. We wish you continued success. Hoping you get to the 12-12 so you have a complete team.
Yeah.
For collegiates. Congratulations on what sounds like a pretty good start to your program, and keep recruiting our kids out of our state. I think they're well trained and they do a great job. And, as we talk to some other coaches, I mean, I think Michigan's very underrated for its power lifters. And I know you're in Ohio, but you're close enough to our state. We want to keep our kids closer to home so their family can see them. But they're representing our state really well at a variety of colleges, with yours being one of them. And so thank you for that. And we appreciate you recruiting our kids, and continued good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It would be great, and continue working with MHSPLA. That's exactly what we want. So thanks a ton. We really appreciate all the support.
So, Coach, anything we haven't discussed that you'd like to share with our listening audience?
Well, I guess, so in my recruiting, I recruit Michigan and Ohio. Last year I hosted a meet. We called it the Border Battle. We had about 160 kids. It was about 100 kids from Ohio and about 60 from Michigan. Next year I've got commitments from a lot more schools. I think it's a really good opportunity to cross over and for the kids to see different competition. Right now I have about 300 to 400 that have verbally committed that haven't signed up yet. That'll be December 5th. I think it's a great opportunity for kids to compete with real USAPL commands. My kids are the judges and the spotters and loaders as well. we try to get kids into the sport and actually have an idea what they're going to be looking at when they get to college. I think that's really important. And also we're going to try to expand the collegiate powerlifting world. We're going to try to host a meet. We're going to call it the Ohio Collegiate Powerlifting Championship. We'd like to do a Michigan and Ohio one as well. We'd like to cross over with Northwood and Davenport. Michigan State and Michigan have clubs as well. I know some kids that live for Mott Community College. We're just trying to expand it and make it more accessible, because even though we have collegiate teams, it's hard to find meets. It's hard to find people to compete against. But we're gonna be inviting a lot of people, and we hope to expand the college world. I think it's going to expand on its own without our help, but hopefully we can keep it moving. So, I don't know. I think you guys had really great questions for me. I appreciate you showing the importance of what this program has been for our college and for our athletes. They're all different kids from September to now. Their confidence, they're sure of themselves in a different way. There's a lot more cockiness when kids don't know how good they are, and when they realize where they're at, and they some humbling experiences, but also getting better. It's just advanced them as people. It's really cool to see. I mean, you guys know coaching high school kids. You get to see them from 14-year-old, they're almost kids, like little children, to 18-year-old adults. And I'm so lucky to see that next 4 years, 18 to 22 to 23 range. Yeah, it's really great to mentor.
Awesome. Well, if people want to get in contact with you or follow you on socials, or your program on socials, where can they do that?
Yeah, so our Instagram is at Defi College Power, at DEFI College Power. That's our Instagram. We're also, that's the same name that we use on X, on Twitter, DeFi College Power. You can find us there. We have direct contact with our athletes through there. You can send us a message if you want to visit, if you want to be recruited. Sometimes I just don't know athletes and I don't know who they are, and I do want to recruit you. So reaching out to us is a good thing. Interacting is a positive thing. There's thousands and thousands of kids out there. It's hard to know exactly where they all are, but DeFi College Power, we can set you up. We'd love to have you come to our meet. We'd love to have you come to our border battle event, and even just come visit us and check out what we have to offer. We're a really fast growing program with great kids. So.
Awesome. All right. So give them a follow there. Get in touch with Coach if you're interested in Defiance and getting after it there. Coach Hoffman, thank you very much for your time. We're going to bring this thing in for a landing. Any last words, Coach Gillum?
No, man, it was great having you, Levi, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate it. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Chalked up, clock's counting down. Another early morning in a small town gym right now. Steel on sleeves, heart in your hands. Every rep, every meet, building Michigan's strongest plans. Welcome to the platform, where the stories weigh a ton. Bus rides, late nights, singlets in the duffel bag. White lights, red lights, every call, every flag. From the first warm up